So there's been one of the most interesting debates going on right now in the community. For some reason, we are arguing about DLCs and seasons again. Specifically, which one is better. This debate has arguably been started by one of the more major journalist voices out there with Destiny, Forbes writer Paul Tassi. In a recent video he posted on YouTube, he goes over what I feel is a valid critique about Bungie's seasonal structure. This by no means is an ultimatum stating that DLCs are better than seasons, but it seems like there is a noticeable circle of the community that feel that DLCs are the best form of post-launch content. Even one of my favorite Destiny Twitter pages has this to say: Destiny is a game best played in sprints, not marathons. I'd rather get 2 big expansions per year that I can really sink my teeth into for a month or 2 than 4 seasons that trickle out content to pad its lifespan. So for one, let me get this out the way. 4 seasons a year with 1 major expansion is the best we have gotten in the franchise thus far. This, in my opinion, shouldn't be a debate. For context, let me explain my Destiny background. I have played this franchise since the day its first alpha was released. Since that day, I have played almost every year, except for 1 year. This was when our last dose of DLC Curse of Osiris and the Warmind DLC was released. I was so tired of that format I stopped playing altogether, only to come back a little over a year later after Forsaken was released. The 4 seasons a year with 1 major expansion has arguably saved this franchise for me. I'm not kidding. I can even make the case that we are getting more content now than ever before. The landscape of multiplayer games has been drastically changed forever in the last 5 years. Gamers, and specifically players who play more than average, fuel the need for frequent updates. This is what these seasons do: allow for those frequent updates at the same time delivering a solid narrative experience, things to do per week such as challenges, rotating endgame activities, and now shaping up sandboxes, PvE specifically, to change up how the game feels, and specifically the game flow. Now, is all this done to perfection? Hell no. But it's far better than the drop periods we experienced back in D1 and at the launch of D2. One thing I have observed is the type of player that says this. By no means is this an attack on these type of players, but I feel like players who say this in a way want the game to cater to their needs and not the needs of the rest of the community. This mindset forgets the player who wants to play Destiny every day, and even the player who wants new content without waiting. There are many people who are playing this game, and specifically this season, with plenty of stuff left to do, and they love that. Can Destiny become too much with fear of missing out around the corner? Of course, but I still can't wrap my head around the idea that DLCs are better than this seasonal format. DLCs sucked for everyone, and honestly went against the foundational idea of Destiny as an ever-changing world. For the most part, you can play every other month and still experience the seasonal narrative, get new exotics, and complete challenges as long as they're not via a specific PvP playlist. The only FOMO honestly is the weekly Bright Dust store items and the Pinnacle season weapon, which can be unlocked via rank 16 on each vendor, Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit vendors to be specific, but even then that isn't too hard to rank up when you focus on one playlist. In regards to new weapons, they stick around for a year in a streamlined loot pool experience based on the season, then get thrown into a world loot pool when that season gets vaulted. If you want to play 2 times a year, then do this. Play Destiny when its second season that year drops, then play again the season before the next expansion. So please, if you feel differently after me saying this, and you are one of the few that like DLCs over season, comment down below. I truly want to have a conversation about this. Another thing seasonal content does miles better is keeping the game relevant year round, rather than just a few moments. The engaging nature of seasons make for a community engaged with the game for almost year round. DLCs didn't do that like seasons do now. Rather, it was kind of the opposite. The attraction for a content creator wasn't present with DLCs simply because you were waiting 4 months for a few items, a 3-hour campaign, a new raid possibly, and maybe some spicy new subclass stuff. So far this season, we are getting a seasonal narrative spanning 8 weeks about new weapons with reprisal weapons, the return of the Leviathan, this time on the moon, a new exotic, Solar 3.0, and a new dungeon with its own set of new and old weapons. Next season, it's the same thing, except it will be a reprisal raid from D1 instead of a dungeon. The reason I mentioned content creator also is because we have seen these past few years the power that content creators have on shaping the size and engagement of a game's fanbase, for better or worse. So that's it. That's all I have to say on this debate. I prefer the seasonal structure right now miles over the DLC structure, or even 2 expansions a year like Destiny Nostalgia said before. Can the season structure get better? Yes, it can, but if the answer to that is bringing back DLCs, then I would have to argue against that. If you guys have a comment about your feelings on this debate, then please, again, comment down below. Healthy conversations foster solutions for everybody. If you also enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, helps out the video a ton. If you guys are also new here and want more content from me, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video. But till then, guys, that's all I got for this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.